Welcome to Generations. My name is Beverly Crosby, and today's topic is design principles. Your house, your office, maybe even your garage. Yes, we have with us Elaine Addison, who has been an interior decorator for over 30 years, and she's going to talk about color, harmony, being comfortable in your surroundings. So with that, let's meet our co-host and our guest. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all today. David, how's life been going for you?
Well, pretty busy this time of year. Happy to just spend some time thinking about design issues.
Okay. And Bob, good to see you.
Hi, thank you. Yep, I've been looking forward to this. It's always a fun topic. So,
And Gloria, it's so good to see you again. Welcome back. Gloria has been one of our co-hosts for so many years and helped out in the studios, and we needed one more person today, and I of course thought of Gloria. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's good to see you.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be back, and it's a great topic. I love discussing this. Design is terrific, so I'm delighted. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, let me introduce our guest. And actually, Elaine has been our co-host when Gloria stepped back, and Elaine has joined us as a co-host. But I thought today it would be nice to hear what she does and have her share some of her skills and knowledge about the design world. So Elaine, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to see everyone.
Okay, I'm going to start out with first question. Elaine, you say that you've learned that great design creates environments that are comfortable and encompass balance and harmony for people. You also say that trends in fashion, they come and go, yet good design transcends the test of time. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, design is great. It's always been so much fun to create things, to have a vision, and then see it come into reality. So it's been a lot of fun to do that. One of the things that I do when I meet a client for the first time, I assess the things that they like, that they don't like, what their home looks like, what their footprint looks like, just different elements in the home. And then we go from there, because design does create harmony, and it creates a peaceful environment if it is done properly. So say you take an example, if you have a living room and you have furniture that is not in the living room and it's just pushed up against the wall, it doesn't say inviting. It doesn't say come sit down and relax. It's just like something's been just kind of pushed there and without any thought or rhyme or reason. Where if you design, you would bring that sofa out, you would float it more, you would put accent chairs in to complement that sofa. You use artwork that is proportioned with the sofa and the wall size. And when you have that all put together, you can sit down and there's a very relaxing, calm feeling. Of course, you also need to add other elements, like your wall colors and your furniture fabrics and your textures. All of that comes together to create a really comfortable environmental type where people come in and they say, wow, this is very comfortable, but yet it's very beautiful too. And to me, I've always designed, I'm more of a bread and butter potato designer. What I mean by that is that I love to put a foundation down. say tweed fabrics, maybe a rug that has some colors in it, and then pull off of that, but yet stay within what the clients like. Some people love reds and blacks and whites and bright yellows. We design with that then. Some people love the earth tones, which are more the warm tones. Then if I know that that's what they like, that's what I gravitate to with picking out furniture fabrics, picking out chair fabrics, wall colors, whatever else may go within that room that they're looking at wanting to design. So needless to say 5 years down the road or 6 years down the road, that still is very current today. Now, some people may want to change out a little bit, maybe during holidays where they bring in some different pillows, maybe some different floral arrangements or whatever, considering the time of the year. But otherwise, everything should keep going forward and people are very comfortable in their setting and environment.
Okay,
Color
go
is
ahead, Gloria.
so, what was that?
Go ahead.
Color is so important, and I think that we don't realize, we get comfortable with our surroundings and the places we go and the places we stay all the time. They become known, and sometimes they're not always not comfortable. I think we repainted our interior house, and this greenish color that's around me is so comforting to me. It's in actually I'm in my master bedroom, and it is such a wonderful color for sleeping. It's a kind of a greenish blue color. And it really became known to me when it was first done and we moved in. And I slept here and I thought, this is an inviting sleeping space. And it just felt so wonderful. And it's been here for, I think, 6 or 8 months or so. And it just gets more comfortable as time goes on.
And of course, being in the academic world, I'm certainly familiar with the fact that with color, for example, there's a lot of academic research on the impact of colors, whether it be uniforms, wall colors, logos, whatever it might be, and the impact of that color on people's comfort level or persuadability or state of mind, whatever it might be. So it's a very real thing that we have real hard data to support.
One thing I really enjoy is when one wall is a different color from the rest of the room to kind of offset the, just the blandness of one color.
Yes, that's gotten very popular. As long as it is a wall that can carry that extra color. Some people will paint a wall that there's no real rhyme or reason to it. So we've got to paint that the basic wall color and take the accent wall that makes a statement. And and color green, Gloria, you were saying green. I look at how God created color in our universe. Green is very predominant in the summer and in the spring, and they're all various colors of green. But one thing we know that we have to offset green with some other splashes of color. Otherwise, it can get very, it can get almost kind of depressive too. Anytime you use one color throughout or one color and add nothing to accent that with, it can be a very more of a melancholy, depressive feel than if you take a wall color and add splashes of this color or that color with it.
So Elaine, if there's one thing that people mess up on or haven't considered, that weak aspect of what they're doing, does something come to mind that they really need to rethink that particular thing?
I would say, David, one of the biggest problems in interior design is balance. So balance is very important. Balance, be it artwork. You may have a piece of artwork that may not be real big and you put it on this great big wall. There's no balance there.
Mhm.
Everybody focuses on that artwork, they may not understand what they're seeing, but once a designer comes in and says, because it's too small, it needs to go on this type of a wall, people then can relate and see it. People need to be visual. I'm finding so many of my clients need to be visual. So anyway, those are some things. Or lamps. You know, we have now the taller tables, end tables. We don't have these short little tables anymore because the arms of sofa are higher. Our ceilings are higher in homes. So we have to bring everything up taller than what we had, say, back in 1980 or 1975. And that all is part of that balance also that we need to bring about. Lamps, you know, at one time we used small lamps. Now we have taller lamps next to our sofas. And then if we put a plant, the plant either is shorter or taller than the lamp. That creates balance. So that's kind of making sense, but that's a really important. The other thing is art pictures, family pictures and things. You know, I find that more and more now we're not doing that as much. At one time, we used to have pictures on the walls, on the tables, all over. And now we've kind of clumped them into maybe in an office. And we take one wall and we do a collage with that wall of family photos. So there's a lot of things that create balance that are very eye appealing. And if it's not balanced, people feel uncomfortable and they don't always understand why they feel uncomfortable, but that is why. So balance creates harmony. And God has created all of us with balance and various things within us. That's off. We pick it up, even though we may not be able to explain what it is.
Another thing that I've been thinking about when I learned that this was about color, you were mentioning color. We go to restaurants to eat all the time, and it seems like in the last year or 2 years, restaurants have gone from warm to cool, from beiges and browns to black and gray. And black and gray is cold. And the ambiance of our homes is changeable. We can change what we want to do.
Right.
But going to places to eat, I find there are several restaurants that we used to frequent. We no longer go there because we don't feel comfortable. It's too dark. The black is too heavy. And it is just, the ambiance is just uncomfortable, even though the food is wonderful, the service is good. It's the ambiance. And I'm thinking that restaurant owners don't pay enough attention to that. As you're talking, balance is so important and color even more important.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
Oh, I agree, Gloria. So many of the restaurants at one time used the warmer colors, the greens and the reds and the oranges. It created an appetite. Okay, that creates an appetite, believe it or not. It's in your subconscious. So, and it makes it comfortable. You feel good. The black and the gray, because we live in a society where, you know, paint industries, fabric industries, they're always changing styles and fabrics, colors. And gray, I have never liked gray, mainly because gray is very cold, especially when you live in Minnesota. You have gray skies, you have gray walls, you have gray furniture. It can be very depressive. And then you add black, which black is a very dignifying color. It has a lot of richness to it and stuff, but it needs to be warmed up, always needs to be warmed up. So anyway, but now with these restaurants, like you're saying, you go in there, the black is can be very depressive. The gray is like just on the verge of black. Black is darker, gray comes out of that. So you basically have the same colorations on the walls and on the seats and on the tables, and you feel depressed because there's no other colors in there to warm it up. And you need the warmth. You know,
Do you work with restaurants?
Pardon?
Excuse me, do you work with restaurants?
Well, I did a couple of the restaurants where they had foods that they delivered to people and they needed their walls done. So I did that. That was probably back, oh, maybe 10 years ago. But I haven't worked with any big restaurants. That's more commercial. I'm more residential. And so people ask me, I always will suggest colors for them.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's very important.
I have a question. Okay,
Mm.
let's talk about something we're talking to an audience of different economic values. Some people can afford to bring in an interior designer, other people cannot. But sometimes all they need to do is change just one or two small things. Or even, let's just take a look at a garage, for example. Can you make a garage for the guys to go out and fix their car? Can you make that more inviting? Is there some simple little things we could do there?
Well, I would say in a garage, the floors now, you can either seal them or use the epoxy with coloration in it. You can put some cabinets in on one side of the wall, and that holds some of the tools and houses behind the basic things you need. So that you can make the garage a little bit more inviting. You can get better lighting. Some people don't have very good lighting in their garages. And so to get the larger fluorescent shop lighting, a lot of times in a garage will really make that brighter and warmer also. So those are just some things. And then you paint your walls. You do a warmer color in a garage because it's normally a little cooler unless you have a heater in your garage. But you paint it a little bit of a warmer color. So that also is a little bit more inviting. I wouldn't paint it dark, but you could go like a light caramel or a soft, maybe a very soft gray green. We're doing gray greens, which is interesting. Then you've got your green, but it's not as yellowed out. It has a little bit more cool to it. So it's still a very comfortable palette also.
I had my garage floor seal coated, and I picked a lighter blue color as opposed to having it look like the old gray color of the cement, and
Yes.
made an incredible difference. It just really lit up the whole place. So
Yeah, because a garage should also be welcoming because you drive in there with your vehicle. A lot of us have our vehicles, and it's nice to know that we can put our vehicle in a garage that has somewhat of a personality to it, and it looks bright and it looks clean and it looks fresh. So that's always a good feeling also. I agree. Yeah.
So Elaine, as a career, a lot of people after 50 are looking for something to do that isn't full-time, maybe be their own boss, that kind of thing. That sounds like what you're doing. How do you convince people to use your services? How would one even start to be involved in something like this on the end that you're on, of seeing it as a consulting opportunity with a little bit of income thrown in?
Yes. Going back a little bit, David, when I had my studio for 20 some years, and I always would bring I mentorship girls from college, and I mentored also from high school. And I would give them at the end, I would give them a blueprint, and they would have to design a room with furniture and fabrics and all of that. And some of them went on to do design, and others did not. They decided, no, that's not for me. So it was really good. Saved mom and dad a lot of money, that's for sure. So anyway, but the other thing I would tell them to start first with is work in a tile shop, in a furniture store, in an area where they do design or work with fabrics or materials. And then they can start slowly developing a clientele. I started because I started very early. So I had a lot of neighbors and friends that just kept passing me, my name out. And then over the years, I advertised in magazines, I won awards, various things. So people would recognize my name and then they would call me for design services. And I normally do an hourly, and I'll come out and I'll do an hourly, and I'll assess the situation. And if they want to continue with me, then I'll try to decide, okay, this is probably how many hours it's going to take. This is what the cost is going to be. And then go from there. And then they can make a decision. Yes, I can afford that. No, I can't. Can we do it a little simpler? So there's different options within that, what do you call it? That layout that I have. Yeah.
Do you ever come across people who they're very set in what they like? And I mean, design, where we live is part of our personality.
Mhm.
But some people are very set in their ways, and they can have a lot of clutter, and you can walk in and you could see how it could be a lot more comfortable for them,
Mhm.
but maybe it's not important to them. They say, oh, no, don't touch. I don't want to touch this. I don't want to move anything. I don't like change. Do you ever come
Yes.
across that?
Yes. Oh, yes. I had a couple. This was really fun because they wanted me to come over and look at their space and just give them some ideas. So I did that. And I made suggestions. Everything in their home was oak. Everything. Kitchen table, kitchen chairs, end tables, coffee table, bedroom set, everything was oak. So I said, I would make a suggestion that maybe as we go along, and if you want to continue with me, that we change out some of this oak and maybe bring in some different colorations, some items that are a darker stain than this light oak, maybe bring some things in there, maybe are alder or maybe are painted. And it was so cute because she was so cute. She put her hands over her chest like this and said, I am not changing out my oak. And that's how, and I said, okay, that's fine. So we'll work with, if you want a new sectional, we'll work with that first. Well, by the time we got into about maybe 4 months of the process, she started taking things off the walls. The oak stuff started coming down. And it was just so refreshing to see, because gradually she came to the conclusion that, yes, this is too much of the same old, and I want some different things to create, creativity and just beauty of the eye. Actually, that's really what it is. A lot of people call it eye candy, but that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Now, before we were
Two
taping,
is-
go ahead, Gloria.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that too is balance,
Yes.
balance, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And again, we go back to balance. If you're sitting in a room and you have too much clutter and there's no balance, you are not going to be comfortable. And so that's what a designer does. A designer comes in and explains why you are not comfortable and what's creating those feelings. So that goes along with the design world. Yeah.
Do you also help people that are buying a new residence or new construction, that sort of thing?
Oh, yes, I'm just right now, I did a big house in Monticello for a client. Took me 4 years. I selected all the tile, the design of the tile, the window treatments, the cabinet hardware, the cabinet design, the appliances, the lighting, the vanities, the granite, all of that. And so after that, we start working on then furniture. Now I'm doing a beautiful ranch in Dundas, Minnesota. It's a 5,000 square foot ranch, and it needed all updating. It was 1990. So from there, same thing. We took out a tub surround and put in showers and new glass seamless frameless doors. New lights, new carpeting, new paint colors, just updating granite, a whole new kitchen and appliances. So, and it's turning beautiful. And I had so much fun selecting some chairs that have cowhide on it. So that's cowhide chairs.
Okay, we have about a couple minutes left. David, I know you had a question.
Oh, Well, I was just going to say, before we started taping, we talked a little about gender vis-a-vis style. And I know we have these stereotypes that men are only interested in like the garage or their man cave or something like that. I'd be interested to know if you encounter men who are dote every bit as much on stylistic issues throughout the house and care about them every bit as much as women do.
There are, David, there are a lot of men that have that, they have that creativity, even over their wives. So, you know, we balance one another out as husband and wives. And so many men are going into interior design, and they're very good. They're very creative. They have a lot of great ideas. One of the gentlemen that I know, a designer who's really good, you've probably heard of him, Billy Beeson. He's been around in Minneapolis, St. Paul for many, many years. His uncle was a top-notch designer, and Billy's kind of taken on his clientele. So he's got very upper echelon clientele, very good designer, very different designer than maybe what I would do, but I love and appreciate what he does. So, you know, every designer is a little different. But what I try to do, I do not try to bring in my style. I want your style. And then we'll work with coloration that you like, furniture style that would some of those type of things. But a lot of designers like to go in and just say, okay, I'm going to do it my style. And that to me is not real design, you know. So
Okay.
always needs to work with their client.
And with that, we have to wrap it up. We're running out of time, so only a few
Okay.
seconds here. Great questions, great answers, a lot of good information. And you don't have to have a 5,000 square foot house to
No.
do the design work. Sometimes it's throwing out a pillow or adding a little more color or changing a picture on a wall or a garage. As Bob said, he changed the flooring. And the color just really warmed it up, made it more inviting. So much good information. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
This has been really informative. And David, Bob, and Gloria, thank you for your great questions. Everybody was coming from a little different angle today, which was great. Viewers, we are happy you joined us today. I hope you picked up some pointers as I did. And we'll see you next time on Generations.
There's a lot of things that create balance that are very eye appealing. And if it's not balanced, people feel uncomfortable, and they don't always understand why they feel uncomfortable, but that is why. So balance creates harmony.